You go from changing your life in 2019, listening to Dr. Sean
Baker.
Baker,
Yep.
Sean Baker's advice
Hmm.
on a Joe Rogan podcast, to then in 2023 getting mentioned on Joe Rogan by Adam Curry. What the hell is that experience like?
Dude, it was a really, it was incredible. And it was like, there was definitely some serendipity with it too. So Adam Curry, Podfather, we got to get him on here too. So he created the concept of like an RSS feed in the first podcast with Steve Jobs. And so we were hearing that, he's local to Austin. He lives in Fredericksburg. And I remember Harry and I sitting down being like, oh, how cool would it be to get him on the show? We spoke at an event called the Beef Initiative, which was like this regenerative agriculture event in Georgia. He was there. We met him there, ended up getting him to come on the podcast. And I think he saw like two younger guys that were chasing this vision of trying to build a podcast. And I think he was like, these are the next generation of people. I see something in these guys, and was really proactive in being willing to help, which was amazing. And then we went over to his house for dinner in either January of February of this past year. And we just went over for dinner. We brought some meat, we grilled some steaks, and he was like, oh, he like casually mentioned that he was going back on Rogan's show for the fifth time, I think, the next day. So obviously in the back of our minds, we're like, well, we're the last people that are getting dinner with him before he goes on Rogan. Like, would he say something? We didn't say anything about it to the other person. And it's almost like when you see a pitcher pitching a no-hitter, like you're not going to say it out loud to jinx it. And then the next day, our phones started blowing up with people saying, dude, he's like, he mentioned you like 15 minutes into the show. And it was a really cool feeling, but we didn't put a ton of emphasis on it. It was more like, this is a really cool nugget. Like if you connect the dots backwards, this is a sign that you're doing things the right way. It was like a motivating and special feeling, and just a sign that you're on the right track. And it's a sign from God that you need to keep going.
Yeah, I think at that point too, we had a lot of indications that we were on the right path, but you know, we were still in this phase of, is this working? Are we going to be able to make money off this at some point? Will this be our livelihood? And I think at that point we were like, okay, this is sweet. Like this is something that we can hang our hat on and be like, the show's actually working. It's resonating with people to the point that you're getting mentioned on one of the biggest podcasts in the world. It's like, okay, just, another sign from the universe, just keep going.